Hello, Sooner Nation. Didn't do a pregame pod, and it sounds like we're not going to do it again. if that's how we're playing against a second road win, a huge road win in 3 weeks. I mean, I'm running out of narratives for this team. To me, they've done everything that we can't complain. I think that's probably my best.
Oh, no, we can. And if you don't think we could, I mean, there were multiple times on our friends group chat I really wanted to reply. You guys do know we're winning, right? You know, that was I never actually sent that. And actually, I was on a different group chat of there toward the end. And, you know, they're driving. And it's like, oh, this is the last. This is it. And we're just going to lose on a walk-off field goal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we're going to win. Our defense is too good. We're going to win. And everyone was just like, thumbs down, Homer. I got the sunshine pumper thing. I'm like, well, I mean, just saying, like, but Jeremy, don't you think, you know, there's a big narrative that's out there that this is a fluky win because, I mean, yes, obviously we were outgained, all those different things. But I mean, I get it. They had 23 first downs. We had 12. You know, they had 406 total yards. We had 212. I understand all those things. But also, we knew, especially by the second half, Brent got there defensively. And we just told John Mateer, don't screw up. Do not turn the ball over. Don't do anything to – he tried to throw a pick six at one point, but luckily the guy dropped it. Don't turn the ball over. Keep it away from them when we can. We've got the best kicker in America, and we're going to find a way to slug out and win this game. I mean, it's a backyard brawl, junkyard dog, whatever narrative you want to throw out for us. That's what it was, and that's who we can be. Now, do we need John Mateer to be better going forward? Yes. Do we need a healthy Xavier Robinson going forward? Yes. Okay, we need all those things. But don't let the national narrative of how we should have lost that game take the joy away from we won it by design. Okay, we did. The turnovers that we got, we earned. Those were not fluky tipped balls. It was not those things. I mean, we should have had another interception because I guarantee you, Kendall Daniels' play, number one, it was off the ball. I mean, it didn't impact the play, really. I mean, that throw was directly to Robert Spears Jennings. And number two, they let fit. I mean, this is the SEC. That was a Big 12 PI penalty.
Yeah. It was almost like there's kind of some makeup calls. But, I mean, like I said to our friend group last night, I said, you know, I think just take this for what it is. This is a really good football team. We're not at national championship contender yet. I mean, it's just you got to have a little more balance on the offense. I mean, but get yourself in the tournament. That's really the most important
thing.
Here's
the deal, though, Jeremy, but, like, who is? Who is?
No,
that's the thing. Everyone is flawed. This is a different world we're living in now. The days of the super teams, do you think we looked that much different than Alabama yesterday, player for player?
No.
You couldn't have said that 5 years ago, right?
No, not at all.
3 years ago, whatever. I mean, and this isn't just Coach Saban getting out of it. This is just with the NIL and the transfer portal world, the era of the super duper teams is over. Now, I realize Ohio State is doing what Ohio State's doing, but we don't know. They haven't played anybody. Okay. Yeah. They beat Texas that first game in a close game, but they haven't played anybody since.
Yeah. And I think that's a team everybody's putting in number one. And that's just almost like by default, because like you said, we don't know anything about Ohio State. Like, what was always a thing when we would get into the playoffs is like we would play an SEC team, we crap the bed, and like I guess we weren't ready for it. Now we know we are ready for it getting into the playoffs if we do get in the playoffs. But that said, it gets us more ready for those games, and that's what makes you wonder: is Ohio State going to be ready for that?
And I mean, here's the deal with Ohio State. And I mean, I don't know, didn't anticipate this going into an Ohio State pod, but that's where we're at right now. And I mean, you look at Ohio State's schedule. Their next best win after the Texas game, which was at home, which they won 14-7, okay? Their next best win after that is probably, you can argue, either at Washington or at Illinois. And at Washington, they were 24-6. At Illinois, they win 34-16. And they have a 2-game season, guys. They play Texas and Michigan, and that's it. and we're going to see when they go to the big house here in a couple of weeks, all that. But Michigan was a team that had to scrape by to beat Northwestern yesterday, and we're hanging our hat on that Michigan team, on that Michigan being a good win, and I think it was. But Michigan's not the best team we've played. It's not the second best team we've played. I could probably argue it's not even the third best team that we've played, fourth best team we've played. But long story short, we are battle tested, and we've got some scars.
Mm-hmm.
We should. Losing the Texas and Ole Miss game still sting. Don't let any of this positivity take away from the fact that that stinks. It does. But by God, Jeremy, we've got a football team.
Mm-hmm. And we got a battle test football team, like you said, a team that's gone on the road. I almost hate coming home, to be honest with you, because
a handsome podcast host told you a few weeks ago, maybe this team's just better on the road.
Yeah, it's sure they sure act like it. But one thing I will tell you, that atmosphere Saturday is going to be electric. You don't win at Tennessee and then win at Tuscaloosa and come back home and just to a bunch of people sitting on their hands. I think it's going to, and we hate Missouri. That also helps out.
Yeah, I mean, Dorkowitz deserves us all the hostility that he can possibly get. And, okay, I get it. There's things that were set out. This game's been an 11 o'clock kickoff since the summer, I think. But this should not be an 11 o'clock kickoff, okay? It's absolute bull crap. And, I know we talked before the Ole Miss game of like 11 o'clock kickoffs don't scare us, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But it stinks. This is the best game there's in the SEC this week. I mean, Tennessee and Florida got the night game. I mean, come on. Okay? Florida's won 3 games. I realize one of them was against Texas, who we didn't beat. But this is kind of like FCS week for most of the SEC. And we've got this 11 o'clock kickoff. That's bullcrap. It is. And I do think the LSU game will probably be a night game because of half the games are on Friday, half of them are on Saturday. I know A&M in Texas is a Friday night game, and so we'll probably get the night game there. But, man, I wish this was and I hate 2:30 kicks as far as just going to the game because it eats your whole day, but that's just me being an old man curmudgeon of, I have to get to everything early and all that stuff. But really wish this game was a 2:30 or a 6:30 or 7 kick.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the Alabama. To me, I'm going to say one negative about like what I watched. One thing that I've noticed, I'll put 2 negatives there. I'll put 2 negatives just to get it started because I got a lot of positives. But one thing I saw out of Arbuckle is sometimes he gets like too pretty. Like he's like
cute.
trying to,
I was going to say cute.
Yeah. He's like trying to confuses them. Second off, John Mateer's got to sit in the pocket. There were some of those times he had a pocket and he broke the pocket. Well, you're slicing the field in half when you do that. And you're going to throw across your body maybe. And then that's where picks happen. So it's like he's got to stay in the pocket. I understand that's part of his game. But also, too, it's like they've got a good pocket for you. Just read the defense. That's all you have to do. If nothing there, then, start making your moves. But those are just 2 things that stuck out to me, or I could look at Arbuckle and Mateer on both ends of it. But
yeah, I thought the little toss sweep to the short side of the field in the 3rd and 2 was just a horrendous call. I really, really, really did. Also didn't really love the middle screen that we got the intentional grounding on after the EPL false start. Didn't really like that. Thought we got maybe – now, something I don't have that much vitriol towards, and I know a lot of people do. People complain that we got too conservative after the Taylor Wine, Kendall Daniels fumble recovery, in that one, and we ended up kicking the field goal. Thought we got a little too conservative there. I didn't mind that. We just needed the points, 100% there. But those were 2 play calls that I really didn't like, and I do echo what Jeremy's saying on Mateer just bailing out of the pocket. Do think he did show some signs though of there were some better passes with a little more zip on them. I thought the throws he had to Giovanni Gibson on that drive were good throws. Thought, and it was early, but like maybe first offensive possession, the throw he had to Burks where he was coming to set, was a good throw. But saw some signs, but for us to get where we need to get, he's got to continue to get better. He does. Saw some signs out of Jermichael Carter from the receiving core a little bit. Still wish we threw the ball to Kanik a little bit more. Seems like every time we throw it to Kanik, he wears number 12. Seems like he gets 12 yards every time we throw it to him because he is kind of hard to bring down. So do think there's some meat there, but something that I'm really curious to see is, man, we need Xavier Robinson to be healthy because Torrey Blaylock's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's young. I mean, he just doesn't see the field
Whether
like
that's
Robinson does.
Dinged up to this point, because I mean, Blaylock was a guy running hard, and I mean, there's no depth in that running back room. Because after those two, I mean, it's probably going to be Gabe Sawchuk is probably who the next person's going to be because Javonte Barnes and Jaden Odd aren't playing.
Yeah,
and
is there going to be a surprise visit from Jaden Odd? I could just see that's how our season ends. Like Jaden Odd.
Did you see the video? They were singing the alma mater there after the game, and everyone's just juiced up, and everyone's running over there, and even like Hawkins, who's not playing obviously, but is bought in, is over there. The ones are up. They're singing the alma mater. Jaden Odd is sitting there with his helmet on, just like derp the entire time, and like two of the people kind of push him out of the way, and he kind of elbows back once. It's like, dude, if that's where he's at, let's just leave him at home.
At that point, why are you even suiting him out? In my opinion,
yeah,
it's like you're wasting like a spot for bring a walk-on kid. And that's how it's going to be. At this point, there's no reason to like waste our time for that type of attitude. I mean, that can be a cancer in your locker room. But I mean, that's one thing I will say though. This team is bought in to what Brent's selling.
100%, man. That's where I want to go next. Is just.
And how many times last year did we? How many times last year did we say, God, we really want Brent to be the guy, and like we didn't want to fire him because we just felt like he has a plan that's just like everyone's got to buy into it, and his plan is defensive built. I mean, we win and lose games by our defense. It is what it is. We're a defensive team. It's uncommon for us to be used to that because we're used to these offenses putting up 50, 60 points. Now we've got an offense that if we score 23, we get all giddy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, did you see how many points we're putting up? We're a juggernaut. So it's so hilarious where this team's gone. But Brent Venables is a catalyst behind all of this. There's a reason that team is as close as they are because of Brent Venables. I mean, if you're going to be so hard on him last year, you got to give him his props this year.
And I mean, okay, it goes back to this. We talked about, where this team is. Jeremy and I, if you're followers of the pod, before the season, Jeremy and I both picked us to go 10-2, and hopefully we look like absolute prophets here in a couple of weeks. But if you would have told me we were going to be 10-2, and this is where we are on, going into our last two games, and Deion Burks has 44 catches for 454 yards, 2 touchdowns is all we've gotten out of him. Giovanni Gibson has 12 receptions for 84 yards. We have 100 yards total out of him. Okay. We got nothing out of Jaden Gibson, obviously. And then at the running back, Jaden Ott has 21 carries, which is amazing. I didn't think he had that many, for 68 yards. And Jaden Ott does he have any catches? He has 2 catches for 10 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we're doing this without the people that we kind of really thought would be difference makers, playmakers, that sort of thing. I mean, nothing against Javonte Barnes, but he's ran for 45 yards all year. We thought he might be. Taylor Tatum has -1 yards rushing this year. Okay.
Holy crap. Taylor Tatum played a game. Got a carry?
Yeah, he did. Yep. He got it. Got handed off, got smacked, and just kind of stood there. Elijah Thomas, who's a guy Jeremy and I have, obviously been high on, and that sort of thing. He has 1 catch for 5 yards this year. Okay. All those things are to say, it doesn't mean that I know a lot of people really, really, really aren't high on Arbuckle and Mateer. Give them some time, guys. Give both of those guys some time. We're so much better than we were last year. I mean, we are so much better. And as our friend out west, we used to always say, we're close. But if you don't think that we're being told to play with the governor on to not turn the ball over, to make those decisions because we've got arguably the best defense in the country, you're not seeing it. Okay. This is how we're wanting to win. This is who Brent Venables is. This is how we're trying to win. And if it's good enough to go down and win at Bryant-Denny Stadium, which not many people have ever done, it's good enough to win anywhere. It just is.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, we're figuring out how to win. Remember last year we were like, I just don't know if we know how to win, like how to win big games. I mean, now we all of a sudden have figured it out because we got guys that are just making plays. And it's, hey, going back to that, who would have thought that turnovers could change games? I never would have dreamed it. Yeah. I thought, you know what we should have done against Ole Miss? Turned them over. You know,
well, and I mean, okay, wouldn't you have much rather had those turnovers at Alabama than at Temple?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Remember, you know, the hand wringing and all those things that were, you know, and the frustrations, and you know, us two included. You know, we couldn't even stinking turn Temple over. What's going on with us? You know, blah 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 blah. I'd much rather have had them last week, and I'll take some more next week and the week after that, and a playoff. I'll take them there. You know, man, that's just it's been really nice that they're coming, and you just almost felt like they were coming too. And I mean, once again, talking about without what we got, Jeremy. I mean, I think you and I both would agree coming into the year and in this year too, our Mason Thomas and Gentry Williams are two of our better defensive players. They didn't play a snap yesterday.
Well, and I go to I really hope. This is going to sound bad to say because he's one of our best players, and he is a game changer. You know how much you miss him sometimes when you watch our defense. And our defense is really good. But I'm thinking, like, if we had that edge guy that could just get to the – like, somebody like our Mason Thomas. That's what I was thinking yesterday. But I really hope he doesn't push it against Missouri. Like, 100%. If he's not ready, don't risk it. Taylor Wyme is playing out of this world. We have so much depth on,
and it's a different attack. Okay, I mean, Missouri ran. You know, their running back ran for 300 yards yesterday. I mean, we don't. Not that our Mason's not good against the run. He's a great football player. I mean, he would help against anything. But if we're going to go win a playoff game or two or three or four, it would. We need a healthy R. Mason Thomas to do that.
Yeah,
and 1,000%, Jeremy. And same thing with Gentry. Okay. If neither one of those guys can play the next 2 weeks, but they're 100% healthy for the playoff, set them. Yeah.
It
doesn't mean that those teams aren't good. I mean, I think Missouri's a good football team. I do. I don't think Missouri. Be prepared. I know a lot of people listen to us, listen to Gabe and Teddy as well. Be prepared. And I haven't listened to their post-game pod that dropped today. And obviously we haven't heard their preview pod, which will drop later this week. They really like Missouri. Both those guys do. So don't be shocked when they tell you how good Missouri is. I do think Missouri's a good football team. And it would be very first 3 years of the Brent Venable administration to lose this game coming up on Saturday. Okay. Because this game doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot if we turn around and lose to Dorkowitz. It just doesn't. And we've got to stay focused. So by saying set those guys, that is not a slight at Missouri. Okay. I have healthy respect for Missouri. I think they're a good football team. I think they're great, but I think they're a good football team.
Yeah. And also, too, look at how Eli Bowen's playing now. How good would our secondary look if you can put Eli Bowen on one side and Gentry Williams on the other, a healthy Gentry? Yeah. I mean, that's scary. Not to take away anything from Guillory. He's played – that's what's funny. He played the most snaps.
Just the depth. I mean, you could argue that Devon Jordan had one of the bigger plays of the game yesterday.
Guys are just getting thrown out there, and that's the thing is every guy that gets put out in the football field makes plays, and that is a very rare thing to be that deep at every position on the defensive side of the ball.
And, like, hats off to Jaden Jackson and Kobe McKenzie for playing hurt yesterday. You could tell neither one of those guys were 100%, but they're both just dogs. Now, I was ready to absolutely murder Kobe McKenzie for not diving on that fumble, and
he obviously did it on purpose.
Props to Kendall Daniels for falling on one later, but totally knew what he was doing. Obviously Bowen told him, look, we're picking off the next one. I'm taking it to the house. So
Yeah.
just don't worry about that.
That's what I
But,
thought.
yeah.
That's the
But no,
biggest, like,
hats
what
off
are
to
you
those.
doing?
And, listening to BV talk afterwards, one of the things he talked about was, people not hiding in the training rooms and, people going out there and just, playing hurt essentially. And, is that a shot at the Nick Andersons of the world and, some of these other people who have been hurt for forever? And last year was, the absolute worst. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But man, like this team and where we are now, you're either in or you're out. And Brent's got a lot of guys who are in, and that's just awesome.
Yep. And I mean, he has every right in the world to get kind of pissed off a little bit from what happened last year, because you're seeing guys starting to play, and that goes back to everybody buying in. You see guys starting to play through. And did John Mateer come back too soon against Texas? Yes, he did. Is he just now starting to? You can tell by his zip on his balls how like he's starting to get. I don't think he's still at 100%. I think he's banged up with knees and just like everybody in college football right now. But I do not want to see our Mason Thomas out there against Missouri if he can't. Now, ultimately, if he's cleared and he can play, I just don't want him to push it if he's not 100% because it's not going to help us out in the long run. And that's why I want to bring that up. So
also think, so we're talking about injuries. It would be remiss to not say, like, hats off to the offensive line. I mean, we got 3 freshmen out there, and, we talk about the issues that have plagued our offensive line, and myself included, talked about, how much longer of a leash we should give Bill and that sort of thing. But, and this is not your older brother's Alabama. I get that. But the fact that we started 3 freshmen on the road against Alabama and won the football game, I mean, great. I mean, just great by those guys. And was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. But again, those guys. I mean, the only person who's perfect is Tate Sandell. Beyond him, I think everyone else has obviously got a little bit of a room for improvement. But that dude's just an absolute dog.
If he doesn't win the Lou Groza Award, why they're even naming finalists right now is just pisses me off.
Yeah, and then
an award now.
How was our punter? Who's been really good too. Now he's had a couple of Shanktopotamus, but I mean, how he wasn't even a finalist is another amazing thing.
Well, you want to know the biggest difference in this football team from last year is our special teams. I mean,
oh yeah, no, I mean
that wins you football games. I mean, that's the reason they call them special, because they do win you football games.
And I mean, here's the deal. I mean, like, you got to win a lot of times in football. You've got to win 2 of the 3 phases. And, Doug Deacon has just been, it was talked about when he was brought in. I think he came from San Diego State or, somewhere over in there. I forget exactly where, but he's been just awesome. And, I really want to take a moment to thank our Longhorn friends. And I know we've got some loyal Longhorn listeners. But you do realize that without you, we would not have Taylor Wine. We'd have Colton Vosick. And we would not have Tate Sandell. We'd have your kicker, who I don't remember his name because he's not as good as ours. So I don't remember his name. So again, thank you, Longhorns. We really appreciate it. Good luck. Hopefully 7-win Sark can go ahead and lose to Arkansas and A&M on his way back to a typical 7-win Sark season. Hats off once again for beating us, but let's hope that never happens again. Thank you.
Really curious to see how far Texas drops. They gave them a pretty good bump for those Mississippi State and Kentucky wins. I thought maybe Kentucky's better than their record showed, the way they kept moving up for it. But we must be really good because the Texas win over us gave them a pretty big ranking.
It's really held on for a very, very, very long
and
time.
So I'm like, okay, so if you're going to do that, wins at Tennessee and wins at Alabama, if we can win out, I think we'll probably get a home playoff game if I was a bet man. I just
And I mean,
feel
here's
like,
the deal.
yeah, and it just feels like it's going that way if you look at it.
And Jeremy and I are not going to spend today. We'll have time on future pods to talk more about, potential playoff matchups and, all this, that, and whatever. Main thing is, I don't think, especially with Texas losing last night, I just don't think there's a plausible scenario where we win out and we're not in the playoff. And
Yeah.
do I hope we have a home playoff game? Yes, obviously. I would love to be there. I would love for that to happen. But at the same time, if you tell me we're in and we're going on the road, that's fine too. I just want to be in. You just want your ticket to that dance, and that's where we're at. To kind of cut just a little bit more on this game, I think some things that might be like a little overlooked in this game that were just kind of big when they happened and are big for us going forward. But just the fact that Brent was able to adjust to what I felt like we threw the kitchen sink in the first half, and then Brent saw what was and wasn't working. And, Alabama did come out and score in that very first drive. And, I was like, man, here we stink and go. But that first drive, they get the ball back. They go 7 plays, 75 yards. Okay, touchdown, 3 minutes, 11 seconds. Here's their next drives. 3 plays, 7 yards, punt. 5 plays, 10 yards, fumble. 3 plays, -2 yards, punt. 13 plays, 42 yards, ends on downs. If that's not domination and adjustment, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, didn't Simpson throw for 80 yards in the second half, I think?
Yeah, and I mean, and you can look, they all came on that first drive where they were good, and the last drive where, I'm not saying we let them get those 40 yards, but, there's a little more conservatism there until Kip kind of sealed the deal with that big sack. Kip was
kind of
awesome.
it's kind of like the Tennessee game. It's like we made the adjustments after the first half. Second half, we're getting after him, and now he's making mistakes. So,
I feel like we probably blitzed our linebackers just in a straight line, probably too much in that first half. And hats off to DeBoer and his whatever the glasses wearing offensive coordinator they love showing all the time. Sweet Oakley glasses dog. We're really impressed. But I thought they did a good job of throwing to where the blitz was coming from, and there were times I thought Heineke looked a little, and Owen Heineke, who I've given some crap on here, plays his absolute guts out. Great blocks on the Eli Bowen touchdown. But there were times he looked a little, a little slow because, those are dudes from Alabama getting out there. So great adjustments by BV. Just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it just can't complain. Like I said before we got started, it was like me and Gus talked about doing a pod last night, and I said, I think my words were, let's see what the basketball team does, and it gives us a little something to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. So
stupid decision.
If you just want to feel good, we're at 28 minutes and 23 seconds. Pause it here, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll see you on Wednesday. If you want to hear us talk about something a little bit more negative, then allow us these next few minutes here to talk about.
I was ready to talk about negative
Sooners or Oklahoma.
Hey, we could be undefeated. We could be undefeated. I'd still be negative about our basketball team.
So, Jeremy, go ahead and tell the people your theorem of why this is a good thing.
I said my dogs thought so too. That's how they played last night. They're good transition.
No, dogs start with D, and we didn't have any of that. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I told Goss, I said, I look at it this way. We've tried the winning out non-conference play. That hadn't worked for us. So maybe this is a better sign to maybe lose some games that we weren't supposed to. So I don't know. This is a bad part about college basketball, in my opinion, is you're always going to have new teams, and they're all going to have to mesh. And when do they have to mesh? It's usually through non-conference, getting ready for conference play. That team is not, there's no defensive togetherness. When you watch them play, it's like everybody's doing their own thing on defense. We're a horrible defensive team. I can tell you that against anybody.
Because we've given up, yeah. But this is a team that has to have Muhammad Wagi on the floor.
Yeah.
It just does. When he's off the floor, we're just terrible defensively. And, I just really thought hats off to the mayor of Ames, Iowa, who, Jeremy and I both watched growing up back on some Raycom sports games back in the day. But, they just absolutely cooked us. I mean, they did. And to give it to Nebraska, they got down early. Nigel Pack had a really good offensive game. I did finally see more from Brown yesterday. Now, how many times the announcers thought the "what could Brown do for you" scored joke was about to get on my nerves. But anyway, what you're getting from the Big Ten Network is never going to be the creme de la creme of college basketball. But all that being said, this team is going to have to get better, or we're not going to go. With the losses we're taking this year in the non-con, we do not have the bandwidth to go then and turn and not be close to or at 500 in the SEC. And there's got a lot of improving that has to do, because here's the deal. We've got a pretty challenging non-con schedule. We've got ORU's our next game, who played Tulsa really tight the other day. Alcorn State's a bye game. We'll win that. Then we play Marquette. Then we go play Wake Forest. Then we play Arizona State. Then we play Oklahoma State, who I think looks pretty good. But there's 4 games in a row that are losable. Now, those are all winnable games too. But we can't afford to go 1-3 in those games. We need to go 3-1 or 4-0 in those games by dropping the Nebraska game. I don't think the Gonzaga game's a bad loss. I don't. I think Gonzaga is a Sweet 16 level team, but I think Nebraska is an NIT team, and we lost. Now, that was essentially a road game, but do think we have to be better going forward?
Yeah, I do too. It's just is sloppy right now. To me, it is a typical early season. Just everybody's trying to figure out where they fit into a team, and like I said, that's the downside of transfer portal, is everybody's trying to fit into this system, and also too trying to figure out what their roles are. And I don't know, we got a lot of guys searching right now, and it's not looking good by any
getting
means.
Killed in the paint. We got outscored 38-28 in the paint, and that's from a team. Nebraska wants to shoot the three, but then Nebraska was 15-27. A team goes over 50% from the 3-point line, they're probably going to win, and that's kind of what happened. But we've got to stop fouling. We've got to get people out of the paint. And, we just got to be just have to be tougher than what we are right now. And I do think that's something Porter wants. But it's also something that I don't think we're there right now at all. I think that's something that we have to continue to get better.
Yeah, I agree. We won't touch a lot on that because like I said, it is football season. And, but that was something that I watched last night, because as much fun as it is to watch Texas get the crap kicked out of them. I was like, well, I'll watch the basketball team a little bit. It'll keep me happy.
Maybe part of it is Oklahoma's got the best defense in college football. Oklahoma, the state, has the best defense in basketball. They just have to be playing professional basketball and up the road about 20 miles. So maybe there's just no D left for the Sooners to play. Quick shout out to basketball. Lost the game to UCLA. I think UCLA is a team that's where I hope we are by the time March rolls around. But we're not really there yet. Chavez has been good, but do think there's still some room for improvement. Hasn't shot it just great. But don't be down on those ladies at all. Still think they're a Final Four-ish team. We're going to be better, be a little deeper. Hopefully, Jenny's not afraid to sub, so hopefully there's some depth that gets added as we go through that as well. But
I think UCLA not only a Final Four contender, but they're probably more of
a national title contender. I mean,
they're that good, they're that deep. So that's one thing that kills the women's team is that when we got a team that's got a lot of depth, it seems like that hurts us a little bit. We're not real deep on the bench. So
anything else, Jeremy, you want to put a bow on here as we finish up on what was just, it's an awesome Saturday. guys. It was
pretty dang good last two games for our podcast. I can promise you that. It might not help our numbers, us winning, but said,
I don't care if there's 8 people who watch this. That's okay. Okay.
But
no, we want more than 8.
But like we said, it means nothing if we go out and lay an egg against Missouri. So we still got 2 games left. It's not like they're just like Cupcake City, Missouri and LSU. I can say what you want about LSU. LSU's still LSU. So, and Missouri, they love beating us.
They're still talented. You know, that's who those guys are. You know, it's still going to be a tough game. And Missouri doesn't really have a rival. I mean, they got to play Kansas this year. To them, that rival is us. They really, really want to beat us. It means more to them probably than it does to us. And this is the quintessential trap game. The Sooner Nation, show up, be loud. I know you're going to. We'll get deeper into the numbers and all that stuff. You know, but just let's be ready. Let's be ready for that game next week, because I think that's got a chance to just be a really, 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 really good one.
Yeah, we beat Missouri then that last game against LSU. Can you imagine what the crowd would be like then? So one more game to make the playoffs, where ultimately that's what we wanted to do, and that's where everybody's goal was. But we thought those goals were just a little too deep or too big whenever we're got the schedule we did. And like we said earlier in the year, it's like this setting up for us if we can just take care of business. And we won 2 games that not a lot of people thought we could win. So
and
good to be an OU fan.
For the, anyone who's there who, because Jeremy said we didn't get to do our preview pod, but I was looking through my stuff that I have for our podcast, looking through my file, and I had my list of famous Alabama alums ready. So Jeremy, name me a football coach who won a national championship who graduated from Alabama.
Okay. Before you do that, I just want to say the only person I think of who gave one of the best sideline interviews in the history of football.
I want to kiss you.
I could care less
about the team struggling.
I, to this day, use that reference. I could care less that we're
struggling. One of my prouder moments as a dad is that Allie uses that in her regular vernacular. I could care less about the team struggling. Now, shout out to Allie. I haven't told Jeremy this, but we were playing the finals of a tournament on Friday, and first quarter, Allie, I noticed, gets a rebound, kicks it out, and I noticed toward the end of the first quarter, I'm like, man, she's got a pretty big bruise, pretty big pop knot coming in right between her forehead. Long story short, Allie has a concussion, but played 4 quarters of basketball with that concussion. So really proud of her. She's having to sit in the dark room right now, calling herself Batman. But am really, really proud of Allie for the toughness that she showed. And before DHS is called, no, I did not make her go work out or anything today. But prayers up for Allie.
That's what I was about to say. So after the game where you called in, they're like, yeah, we got a few questions for you, Mr. Dawson.
Yeah. So
since your email is soonercast at
gmail.com. Yeah. Any questions at that, go for that. But who I was going with, remember, don't forget, guys, Dabo Sweeney and Alabama grad.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee, the author of that. So lots of famous football players as well. But we don't talk about Bama anymore. We'll talk about Missouri next week. Like I said earlier, complaints or questions, soonercast@gmail.com.
There's no questions about my parenting or coaching skills. Guys, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. We kind of stayed stagnant. Understand we didn't do a pregame pod, so I'm fine with it staying at 155, but now we're starting to win. I understand.
And you know what winners do? They tell their friends to follow. So share it, love it, like it. Hopefully next time we see you, we're closer to 200. So we're inching closer to monetization every week. Thanks. Have a great week, everybody. Boomer.
Remember Sooner.